If you're 55 or older and you've seen posts online claiming the federal government just passed a new law forcing senior drivers into annual cognitive tests, mandatory road exams, and license revocations starting in 2026, stop scrolling and stay with me for the next few minutes. Because here's the truth, that federal law doesn't exist. Never proposed, never voted on, never real. It's a fake story that spread because fear gets clicks. And once it's in your feed, it's designed to make you panic, forward it to your parents, and move on without ever checking whether it's true. But here's the part almost nobody covers, and it's the part that actually matters. While that fake federal story was spreading, real changes were happening at the state level, quietly, state by state, with almost no national coverage. Some of those changes are stricter, some are actually more lenient than what you're dealing with right now. And because the fake panic was so loud, the real, useful information got buried underneath it. So today, I'm walking you through exactly what's true, state by state, what's changing in 2026, and what you should actually do about it before your next renewal notice shows up in your mailbox. If this is useful, and I think you'll find it genuinely is, hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because state DMV rules shift throughout the year in small, specific ways. And you want that information from someone checking the actual law, not someone chasing a scary headline. Let's deal with the biggest myth first, because it's the one causing the most unnecessary fear. There is no nationwide law that applies to every senior driver in America. None. Driver licensing has been controlled entirely by individual states since the invention of the automobile, and nothing about that changed in 2025 or 2026. The U.S. Department of Transportation does not issue driver's licenses. It has no authority to mandate a road test. It cannot require a cognitive exam. Every rule you'll ever encounter about renewal frequency, vision testing, written testing, or medical review comes from your specific state's DMV or equivalent agency, never from Washington. So when a post tells you, the federal government now requires annual road tests for everyone over 70, that post is fiction, and independent fact-checkers have already confirmed it. The one genuinely nationwide rule touching every driver, seniors included, is Real ID, which has applied to domestic flights since May of 2025. That's the entire federal piece. Everything else lives at the state level, and that's where today's real story is. Let's start counting down, because where you live changes everything about what you're actually facing. Number 6 on our list, Illinois, and this is the one that will genuinely surprise you, because the real change runs in the opposite direction of what the rumors claimed. Illinois just passed the Road Safety and Fairness Act, House Bill 1226, signed by Governor Pritzker, taking effect July 1st, 2026. Instead of tightening the rules on older drivers, Illinois loosened them significantly. For years, Illinois required a mandatory behind-the-wheel road test for every driver turning 75, based on age alone, regardless of how clean their driving record was. Under the new law, that automatic road test requirement jumps all the way from age 75 to age 87. That means drivers between 79 and 86, who used to face an automatic road test every renewal cycle, now only need a vision check, plus a written test if their record shows a violation in the prior 3 years. If you're an Illinois driver in your late 70s or 80s who's been dreading that road test, the new law just handed you real relief. It also introduces something Illinois never had before, a confidential family reporting system. A spouse, parent, child, sibling, or grandparent can now flag genuine concerns about a loved one's driving directly to the Secretary of State's medical review team, with that family member's identity kept out of any public record. If your Illinois renewal falls anywhere near mid-2026, it's worth checking your exact date, because renewing after July 1st could mean qualifying under the new, far more lenient threshold instead of the old one. Number 5, California. And here's another myth that needs busting directly. Several viral posts claim California was rolling out brand new mandatory cognitive screening at DMV counters for every driver in their 70s. That's not accurate, and the real direction of travel is actually the opposite. Back in October of 2024, California eliminated its mandatory written knowledge test for drivers 70 and older who have a clean driving record. A genuine reduction in renewal friction, not an expansion of it. What does remain true for California in 2026? Drivers 70 and older still must renew in person, rather than online or by mail, and a vision test remains part of that process. If you're flagged through other channels, an at-fault accident, a moving violation, or a physician's report under California's mandatory reporting law for certain medical conditions, that can still trigger a deeper DMV review, possibly including a written test, road test, or formal hearing. But that's true at any age for any California driver and has been for years. It's not a new senior-specific crackdown arriving in 2026. It's the same long-standing system, minus the automatic written test that used to apply to every clean record driver over 70. Number 4, Florida, the state with the largest population of drivers over 55 anywhere in the country, and the state most heavily targeted by the viral misinformation in the first place. Florida's actual rule has stayed simple and consistent. Drivers 80 and older must pass a vision test at the time of renewal. That's the entire baseline requirement. There's no automatic written test and no automatic road test simply for turning 80. What can trigger a deeper review in Florida at any age is the same as almost everywhere else: an at-fault accident, a physician's report, or a documented concern raised by law enforcement or a family member. If that happens, a more detailed fitness review can follow, sometimes involving a certified driver rehabilitation specialist, an occupational therapist trained specifically in evaluating driving safety. But that's a targeted process triggered by a specific, documented concern, not a blanket rule rolling out to every Florida senior in 2026. Florida also offers a free, completely voluntary self-assessment tool through its state highway safety website for drivers 65 and older. And completing it on your own terms, well before any formal review is ever triggered, is one of the smartest, lowest effort moves a Florida senior can make this year. Number 3, the vision test landscape nationally, because this is the rule quietly affecting more drivers than anything else on this list. Roughly 19 states require age-specific vision testing beyond the standard test every driver takes, and the age threshold swings wildly depending on where you live. Maryland requires a vision screening from every driver starting at age 40, regardless of age-related concerns at all. On the other end, Florida and California don't require their age-specific vision test until 70 or 80. Massachusetts sits at 75. Maine starts at 62. Meanwhile, 6 states, Alabama, Connecticut, Mississippi, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, and Vermont, don't require an age-specific vision test at renewal at all. That spread alone tells you why a Facebook post claiming, "all states now require X," is almost always wrong on its face. There simply isn't a single national standard to violate or comply with. Number 2, renewal cycles, in-person requirements, and medical review, the 3 other levers states actually pull. Most states shorten how often you renew as you age. Illinois moves to annual renewal at 87 and older under the new law. Texas and Indiana shift to 2-year renewal cycles starting at 85. Missouri shortens the cycle as early as 70. New York, notably, keeps its standard 8-year renewal period at every age, no shortening at all. Many states also require in-person renewal, rather than online or by mail, once a driver crosses a certain age threshold, simply giving DMV staff a face-to-face chance to do a basic vision check. And formal medical review, the kind that can involve a written test, road test, or cognitive evaluation, exists in nearly every state, but it is always triggered by something specific: a physician's report, a documented family concern, a law enforcement report following an incident, or a pattern flagged in your own driving record. It is never triggered by a birthday alone. 5 states, California, Nevada, New Jersey, Oregon, and Pennsylvania, go a step further and legally require physicians to report certain medical conditions that could affect driving safety, with Oregon's reporting requirement being the broadest of the 5. If your state wasn't named specifically today, the 2 numbers worth looking up on your own state DMV's website are your vision test age threshold and your in-person renewal age threshold, because those 2 rules quietly affect more drivers than every other senior driving headline combined. Number 1, and this is the step that protects you no matter which state you call home: the AARP Smart Driver course and the AAA Roadwise Driver program. Neither one is new for 2026, but most drivers over 55 have never taken either, and that's worth fixing for 2 completely separate reasons. First, 34 states legally require auto insurers to offer a premium discount, typically 5 to 15% for 3 years, to any driver 55 or older who completes an approved mature driver course. The AARP course runs roughly $25 to $35 and takes about 6 to 8 hours total, available either fully online or in a classroom setting. and that insurance discount alone often pays for the course within your very next renewal cycle. Second, in Washington state, completing a course like this is becoming part of certain high-risk older driver assessments in 2026, which means it's shifting from simple good practice towards something that can directly support you if you're ever formally flagged for review. Whether or not your specific state requires it, walking into any DMV interaction with a completed defensive driving course already on record sends exactly the signal you want it to send, that you're a driver taking road safety seriously on your own initiative, rather than someone reacting only after a notice arrives. So here's the real verified action plan, and notice how much calmer and shorter this is than the panic-driven version making the rounds online. Step 1. Look up your specific state's vision test age and in-person renewal age directly on your state DMV's website. That single search tells you almost everything that's actually different for you. Step 2. If you're over 65, schedule a full clinical eye exam, not just a quick counter screening, at least 60 days before your renewal date, so there's real time to update glasses or contacts if your prescription has shifted. Step 3. Take the AARP Smart Driver or AAA Roadwise course once this year, purely for the insurance discount, and treat the safety refresher as a welcome bonus on top. Step 4. If you're a family member with a genuine, specific concern about a loved one's driving, know that most states now offer a formal, often confidential channel to report that concern directly to the DMV's own medical review process, meaning that difficult kitchen table conversation no longer has to be the only option available to you. Step 5. Anytime you see a post claiming a sweeping new federal senior driving law, pause before you share it. There isn't one. There wasn't one in 2025, there isn't one planned. The real story every single time is a specific state law, usually narrower and far less dramatic than the rumor, and almost always verifiable directly on your own state's DMV website in under 5 minutes. Here's the bigger picture worth sitting with as we wrap up. Drivers over 65 consistently rank among the safest drivers on the road, according to AAA's own research. Lower rates of speeding, lower rates of distracted driving, and higher seatbelt compliance than almost any other age group on the road today. The states adjusting their renewal rules aren't doing it because older drivers have suddenly become dangerous. They're doing it because targeted, evidence-based checks, a vision test at the right age, a medical review triggered by an actual documented concern, catch the small number of genuine cases where driving fitness has changed, without punishing the overwhelming majority of older drivers who are driving exactly as safely as they always have. That story is less dramatic than the one going viral right now. It's also the true one. If this video gave you the real, accurate picture instead of the scary one, do me a favor and subscribe, then turn on the notification bell. State-level rules shift in small, specific ways throughout the year, and that's exactly the kind of update worth catching before your own renewal notice lands. And if you know someone over 55 who's already seen one of those fake federal law posts and believed it, send them this video directly. The fastest way to undo bad information is a message from someone they actually trust, not another headline hoping for one more click.